The FIM Supermoto World Championship is back at the Motodromo Castelletto di Branduzzo to complete its 2021 schedule. In 2020, this venue hosted the season opener, but this year it hosts the final chapter in the championship fight. The 2.3-kilometre layout features a unique jump-heavy technical section and numerous passing opportunities on both the tarmac and dirt. The circuit is just a few kilometres removed from Pavia, the titular commune of the province. The town is home to over 70,000 people and is the central hub of the province, which is an agricultural powerhouse. The town's architecture is beautiful and perhaps defined by the three towers of the Piazza Leonardo da Vinci, as well as a great many historic, opulent churches. The track itself then, which packs a long course into quite a small patch of land. Let's take a closer look with Alberto Mazzariti and Daniele De Chico. This is a very unique track. We have two off-piste sections, one with asphalt and one in stony ground. Here we arrive from the faster part of the track. We arrive with huge speed before we enter in off-road. This dirt is very slippery and we must concentrate to avoid the stones shot by those in front of us. It's a very exciting off-road where you drift a lot with accelerator in hand. The corners are very open and fast. You have to open the throttle. It makes a big difference. This is the last section of off-road with a small jump which brings us back to the asphalt. At this point we arrive with dirty tyres, full of earth, zero grip. You have to try and stay upright because it is very slippery here. This is the last part where you make a slow left and right, then return to the asphalted track.
Here in Castelletto circuit, the sky section is for me the most fun part because it's very unique, having a off-road section of asphalt. The tricky and most important part for me is the exit, because you have to reach your speed from the sky section and go straight into the asphalt zone. And then you have a choice line inside with a little bumpy and outside more flowy. Some guys prefer to go inside and take two bumps, and other guys prefer to go outside and take the fast lane. So we will see which one will be better. Coming from the big tabletop, let's say the biggest jump of the sky section, we will arrive in these S's. This one is very tricky, so the best rider in the planet can make this very fast.
So then, a lap of the track with Daniele and Alberto. An extra slither of practice never hurts. Off the line, and it's a short run to the first corner. A sharp yet fairly wide left-hander. The next bend, a right-hander, only really serves to tighten the exit of the first corner. We pick up speed only briefly before quite a heavy braking zone into this right-hand bend. That should be a good place to make some overtaking moves. A mid-speed left follows, as you can see. Then we open up the taps again, increase the speed once more. However, only briefly, because here comes a 90-degree right-hand bend. Another good place to maybe do some passing before you get onto this quasi-oval section. The speed does pick up quite nicely here. Sometimes things can get quite close, as you can sort of see there. The riders then head off to the left into this unique high-flying section. you can see that the surface is quite varied, adding to the challenge here. The speed over some of these jumps is immense, and you can see that there are some strategically placed bumps on certain apexes just to keep the riders on edge. Since this section is so narrow, it's reasonable to expect a fair bit of single file running through here a lot of the time. Just go over the last couple of jumps now before getting back onto the main circuit. Just over a brief concrete section, now back onto the main track. This hairpin left doesn't have much of a braking zone ahead of it, so you'll need to be close to try for an overtake. Then it's a chance to open up the throttle before a fairly quick chicane. That's the first of two, of course, because the second one is coming up and it sees you onto the dirt. Last year, around this part of the circuit, we saw Holbacher and Schmidt scrapping with each other in a very physical manner on this section. Could we see more of that here in this title-deciding weekend? You see, quite tricky, especially if the conditions are suboptimal in this dirt section. They now head back towards the tarmac. Expect some passing here, or perhaps some clumsy moments on dirty rubber if the moves go awry. One last pair of right-hand apexes await the riders before the short start-finish straight. That's a lap here at Castelletto di Branduzzo. This weekend, all eyes are on the title battle between 8-time world champion Thomas Charrer and the championship leader, Mark Rainer Schmidt.
We are here in Castelletto for the final round of the Supermoto World Championship 2021. I'm back on TM like in 2015 and 16. It's amazing to have a bike like this, special made for Supermoto. Now I'm leading the World Championship with 17 points. So we are here for the last fight, but until now it's not done because we get 81 points more during this weekend. So I take the focus for make no mistakes, take it clean, and for sure for Tom it's not easy. He has the pressure on himself.
After winning the Supermoto of Nations with France and the title in the Italian Championship, winning here would mean the perfect season. However, I'm behind in the standings and I have absolutely no pressure because it is all on him. I just have to give everything and see if it'll be enough. If not, it's not a problem. I have already won it 8 times. The goal would be to put the maximum pressure on Mark. I'll try to win every single race to make it difficult for him. From my view, the best strategy for him would be managing the points gap between us.
I feel not really under pressure because I have 17 points lead, and so the other riders have to make more points than myself. So if I stay, for example, in second position behind Tom, for me it's enough. In the race I feel very strong every time, and yeah, I'm ready with or without pressure. For me it makes no difference. After the last race, hopefully I'm on the top of the world. It's a dream from day one, so we can do it for 2021 Supermoto World Champion.
So it's Schmidt, Charrer and Holbacher on the front row for our first race of 3 this weekend. Sammartin, Amadeo and Sitnianski on row 2. Then it's Besai, Bartolini and Patrick Hals on our 3rd row. Then in 10th place is Vertimati ahead of the 2 Swiss riders, Schupp and Handeli. Lights out and they're underway. Looks as though Charrer's got the best start, but he's going to have to watch out for Holbacher on the inside. Yes, Lucas Holbacher goes to the inside. You see there Schmidt. Oh, Schmidt, I think maybe just came together slightly with Charrer there. Ended up out of the saddle and did very well to keep the bike upright there. You see there that that's affected Sammartin, who's now down behind Daniele De Chico. That's really shuffled up the kind of lower half of the top 10 as everyone scrambled to avoid the carnage behind Schmidt, who's already up to 3rd place once more. Charrer, meanwhile, pursuing Lucas Holbacher. He's going to want to find a way past the Austrian rider to maximise his points in this race. Looks as though Holbacher may have ran wide. Has Charrer taken advantage? Yes, he has. Thomas Charrer up the inside and into the lead of the race then. Now, from Thomas Charrer's perspective, he'll be now hoping that Lucas Holbacher can hold off Mark Rainer Schmidt, he'll also be hoping that Lucas Holbacher doesn't find a way back past him. Realistically, with 17 points between himself and Schmidt in the lead of the title, Tom Charret needs all the help he can get, but I think there we just saw an example of the stones mentioned by Daniele De Chico. Looked like a stone came up and took a nibble out of the onboard camera. Elias Sammartin, meanwhile, through the dust, and I think that's Amadeo ahead of him who's gone off, and unfortunately, Elias Sammartin was a passenger in that one. It's going to knock both Amadeo and Sammartin down the order. And look at this. Mark Rainer Schmidt trying to find a way past Holbacher, and he does. So that's not good for Charret. He doesn't really want to be in wheel-to-wheel combat with Mark Rainer Schmidt. You see there Patrick Pals having a fight with Hangeli. Great to see him joining us after a good run at the Supermoto of Nations last month. The old familiar sight of our championship top three running line astern. It's been a season-long battle between the three of them. Holbacher has been just as quick, more often than not. Unfortunately, the consistency hasn't quite been there, and he wouldn't have been popular if Mark Rainer Schmidt got taken out there. But Schmidt immediately dives to the inside, and it looks as though he's claimed the lead from Tom Charret. That's great for Mark Rainer Schmidt. If he can win this race, that puts him quite a significant step closer to winning the title. Charret's looking to the inside though. And contact between the two of them. Charret and Schmidt make contact, but both of them stay on the bikes. Holbacher back through into the lead of the race. This is just lap 4 of a 10-lap race, our first of 3 this weekend, but we've already had plentiful drama. It looked as though Charret was up the inside. Yes, he is. Thomas Charret through into the lead once again. So he only lost the lead briefly. But goodness me, we can see that there are going to be no punches pulled in this title-deciding weekend. Tom Charret needs this win. He needs Mark Rainer Schmidt to finish as far down the order as possible. He's going to be willing on Lucas Holbacher on the MTR KTM. We have the 2 TM bikes. One of them, of course, Tom Charret's L30 racing machine, and the Phoenix TM of Mark Rainer Schmidt. Of course, Schmidt was on a Honda in 2020, moved over to TMs for this season. Has been running remarkably well. Charret over the hop, skip and jump. And that looks like Amadeo. Yes, Amadeo recovering from what I believe was his spill ahead of Elias Sammartin on the early stages of the race. Sammartin has withdrawn from the race, we believe. Sitnianski, with no such issues, running in a distant 4th position. Looks like a rather lonely race for the Czech rider. Good solid points, and that may put him ahead of Sammartin in the battle for 4th in the championship. Thomas Charret won't claim the championship lead with this victory, but he will shrink that gap to Mark Rainer Schmidt at the head of the title order. It's about as good as he could have got from his first race of the weekend.
Today was so difficult for me. I not find a good sitting on my bike, and we changed something for the race, and was better. So I'm very happy to win. For the championship, I need to win if I want off something. So good beginning of the weekend.
So a good result for Charret. Mark Rainer Schmidt doing enough by finishing in 3rd place. Sitnianski boosting his chances of 4th in the title with his 4th place finish. Championship Sunday at Castelletto di Branduzzo. Even in the heat of the title battle, the riders were ready and waiting to greet the loyal fans at this venue. The battle between Charret and Schmidt was the focus for a great many of the spectators, while everyone in the paddock had their own battles to consider as we headed into the final 2 races. Fast race underway then, and it looks as though the best start of all goes to Lucas Holbacher. Whole shot Holbacher at the head of the pack. We ride on board with Sammartin, as the MTR KTM leads the field into the second proper corner then, and Schmidt's looking up the inside of Charret. The two of them make contact. Oh, and Charret there, I think, momentarily had a problem, and he ends up well down the field. Amadeo's up into second place as well, so Schmidt is down to third place as they run into this 90-degree bend, and oh, that's Schmidt! Mark Rayner Schmidt down there, contact with Amadeo. Realistically, Amadeo did nothing wrong there at all, but Schmidt was desperate to get through into second position. He pulled the trigger too early. And goodness me, has this shaken up the order in the first lap of the race. Elias Saint-Martin there in fourth position. So Elias about where he'd expect him to be. Tom Charret having to fight his way through the order up into third. Goes Saint-Martin. Hullbacher in the lead, and look how far ahead he is of the chasing pack. I think he looked over the shoulder there and went, huh, where is everybody? Of course, Bartolini's had a great start as well. He was running in third before Saint-Martin got past him. And looks like Charret's through as well now. So yeah, Bartolini down to fifth place, but nonetheless, what an opportunity this is for Amadeo. There goes Charret trying to get around Saint-Martin, but Saint-Martin is having none of it. Of course, Elias Saint-Martin is the teammate to this man, Mark Rayner Schmidt, so surely Saint-Martin is going to make that motorcycle as wide as possible. He needs points as well to try and claim fourth in the championship. Saint-Martin dives up the inside of Amadeo at turn one, and he makes it stick. So Elias Saint-Martin up to second. Charret and Schmidt side by side again, not more contact. Nearly. Schmidt just about squeezes him out for third place. Mark Rayner Schmidt and Thomas Charret having an incredible dice once again in the fast race. Lucas Hullbacher is in a different postcode at the head of the order. Elias Saint-Martin just ahead of this in second place now. Look at this, Saint-Martin being hunted down by Mark Rayner Schmidt. Now in an ideal world, for Schmidt at least, he'll get past Saint-Martin, and then Saint-Martin will be hard work for Charret, but looking at how close this trio of bikes are, that's a lot easier said than done. There goes Schmidt, so Schmidt through into second position. That's good for him, that's good for his point score. Saint-Martin looking to the outside there, and oh, there you go, Charret has got through. So no roadblock from Elias Saint-Martin on this occasion. How long is it going to be before more drama? Not long at all! Charret's taken down Schmidt! Charret's taken down Schmidt! My goodness, what a motor race we have here. The FIM Supermoto World Championship title decider is getting very scruffy indeed. And well, this is going to have vast consequences in the title picture. Charret is in second place, Saint-Martin is in third. And there is Mark Rayner Schmidt all the way down in seventh place on lap 5 of 7. He hasn't got long at all. Lucas Hullbacher is well clear. Amadeo looks like he made that very easy for Mark Rayner Schmidt. I'm sure Saint-Martin won't fight him too hard either. And sure enough, there goes Schmidt back through into third position. So Mark Rayner Schmidt has really performed damage control there to take third place. Charret looks set for a fairly lonely second position. Meanwhile, Lucas Hullbacher is going to claim a victory. And really, from the first lap onwards, he was on a track day, all on his own out there. But he won't argue. He takes the checkered flag in the fast race and pops a wheelie over the line. Here are the points then. Hullbacher adds to his tally. Charret and Schmidt rounding out the podium positions. I dare suggest there might be heated conversations in the paddock after that one.
That was a fantastic race. I could win the start, could find one, good rhythms and good speed, and behind me was really crazy things happen, and but I enjoyed the race, and I'm really thankful for the best bike and for everything. Perfect.
Great result for Lucas Holshot Hullbacher. Puts him at the top of the Grand Prix of Lombardia standings, and what a salvage job from Mark Rayner Schmidt. He still has the championship lead going into the finale. The final showdown in the championship then, and it's Lukas Hollbacher on the pole position. Tom Charrer and Mark Rayner-Schmidt join him on the front row. Sammartin, Bartolini and Amadeo on row 2. Then it's Milan Sitnianski, Giovanni Basai and Ralf Schuck on the third row. Patrick Powles, Michael Vertimati and Julian Hengeli rounding out the top dozen. We're underway for the last time in 2021, and Hollbacher cuts across the front of Thomas Charrer on this first lap of the race. Elias Sammartin looks like he's been pushed wide a little bit there. Amadeo gets past him, as does De Chico on the 280, who's having a really good weekend. Hollbacher, though, at the head of the order. Tom Charrer behind him is desperate to get past, no doubt. Charrer needs a great result here, and more importantly, he really needs Mark Rayner-Schmidt to have a shocker of a super final. Ball is very much in Schmidt's court in the title fight. Elias Sammartin still down in 7th place, as I spoke about. Back on the track guide, this is a rather single-line section of circuit, those asphalt jumps. Although we do see the occasional brave overtake. Hollbacher is in the lead then for MTR KTM. He's, of course, out of title contention, but it's great momentum for his 2022 season. If he takes a win here, it would be enough to secure the Grand Prix victory across the 3 races as well. Hollbacher in the lead on this second lap. He's got Tom Charrer still hot on his heels, though, of course. Mark Rayner-Schmidt a fairly distant 3rd place. Schmidt doesn't really need to get involved in this. 3rd place is more than enough to secure him the title. He'll have done all of the maths before getting on the motorcycle ahead of each and every race. And he knows that he just needs to finish in 3rd position. No silly mistakes. No attempts at taking a victory in the Grand Prix. Just settle for the points. Basai in 5th place and Amadeo in 6th. Looks like they're having a good scrap as well. And oh, Gio there with the knee down. That was a little bit hairy, to say the least of it. Hollbacher and Charrer still clear at the head of the pack. Mark Rayner-Schmidt in 3rd position. Looks like a very calculated ride from him. Same can be said for Milan Sitnianski. 4th place in this race should be enough for him to secure 4th in the title as well in 2021, which would be a great result for the Czech rider. He'll be looking to move up and become a title contender in the years to come. Looks as though Charrer may have settled for 2nd here. Lukas Hollbacher no longer under the amounts of pressure he was a couple of laps ago. Hollbacher well on the way to finishing off this Grand Prix in the best manner possible. Mark Rayner-Schmidt well on the way to his first FIM Supermoto World Championship. He's been 2nd best on quite a few occasions here. Of course, this man, Tom Charrer, has won the World Championship 8 times. Hollbacher crosses the line to take the win at the Grand Prix of Lombardia. He's delighted with that one. And here comes Schmidt. Schmidt crosses the line and takes the 2021 World Supermoto Championship. Congratulations, Mark Rayner-Schmidt. Hollbacher there securing the victory in the Grand Prix. Tom Charrer 2nd best today, and unfortunately 2nd best across the season as well. Here are the points for the Grand Prix of Lombardia. By 5 points, Lukas Hollbacher takes it for MTR KTM. Mark Rayner-Schmidt finishing 3rd in the Grand Prix, but I don't think he's going to mind, you know. Look at that. He's got the flag ready. He's got the shirt ready. He is the 2021 World Champion, the Supermoto World Champion. Delighted for him. Great to see respect between Schmidt and Charrer as well. Those 2 gladiators have entertained us all year long. Hollbacher, though, takes the spoils in the Grand Prix of Lombardia. And there's the trophy given to Lukas Hollbacher. That will look good on his mantle.
exactly an incredible race. The races today was crazy because for sure there was one big fight between Schmidt and Shaya for the title. I was just watching for go a little bit of gap to these guys and was doing my racing and pushing really hard to get the first position this weekend. And thanks to Franco Molo, to my team boss, for the perfect KTM bike. Wanna fight for the championship title next year.
And there we go, just 7 points between Schmidt and Charrer at the head of the order. Holbacher with a strong close to the finish takes third in the championship. Sitniansky, San Martino, Monticelli rounding out the top half dozen in the championship. So a separate podium for the World Championship standings, and Holbacher taking third. As we said, he's looking very strong for next season. Keep an eye on the MTR KTM squad and at Lucas Holbacher. Mark Rayner-Schmidt, the happiest man in all of Italy. Tom Charrer there in second, and Mark Rayner-Schmidt flies the flag and receives the World Championship trophy. Congratulations, Mark Rayner-Schmidt.
It was a difficult weekend here in Castelletto for me. I have good speed, but with few mistakes and some different things. Works not really well, but it's done. Yeah, I'm world champion. Big thanks to my team, to Phoenix Racing, to all the guys behind me. I have such a good support from TM Racing, L30 Racing, and yeah, I'm speechless. I can't realize that I'm world champion now, so I need few moments, but yeah, it's amazing here in Castelletto, and I can't wait for the season start 2022. Yeah, I will be back on top hopefully, and it was an amazing season thanks to all the guys out there.
What a season it has been for Mark Rayner-Schmidt. Our 2021 champion has looked strong from the very beginning. The combination of the rider, the TM motorcycle and the Phoenix team has always looked strong. The red plate has been more or less married to the German rider, and at the end of the season he is our S1GP 2021 World Champion. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you here again next year.